ladies and gentlemen, I promised a television host, a well-esteemed newsman, that I would deal with a problem that we have here now. You should know, here at the Majority Report, we believe in free speech. That's why we allow Judy to come on and talk about such things.
I'm assuming my Dave Rubin clip will be restored shortly because I was deplatformed and my speech was violated.
We are. That is still going through an administrative procedure. But it has come to my attention that let's go with the original exchange, shall we, Matt? That Matt Leck, super producer here at the Majority Report, has been going on Twitter and saying mean things to Boris Epshteyn, who is the esteemed commentator for Sinclair local-owned media. So someone writes back to Boris Epshteyn after Boris says something. You do realize the First Amendment does not guarantee you the right to question Donald Trump or any president on the White House grounds, right? I realize it's lucrative to paint yourself as a martyr, but this is a misleading application of the Constitution. This is a response to Jim Acosta. And then someone responds, Kendall Bill, Russian guy weighs in. Now, Boris, of course, was born in Russia, but is an immigrant to this country, immigrant, I should say, tolerant left, using my nationality against me. We came here legally when I was 11, and I've been a proud American citizen for almost 20 years.
Nice try.
Nice try.
We did this in the Orthodox way.
Wait a second.
He's super young.
Yeah, but wait, he's been here for 20 years. He still has a pretty thick accent, doesn't he?
We run.
I'm trying best.
I'm trying best. My family came, run criminal rackets, Brighton Beach, like you're supposed to do.
Okay, so
he's 3 years older than me. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
He's an 80s kid.
And so
Michael J. Fox was the man of our time.
It is inaccurate to call him a Russian guy. He is American, obviously of Russian heritage.
I can admit that's a bit xenophobic.
It is a bit xenophobic. However,
my family came here and did something for this country.
It came to my attention that Matt Leck responded with, quote, not sending their best. Which, of course, is a quote of the President of the United States. And one of the complaints that the President has had, that we have immigrants coming and we're not getting the best, cream of the crop, implying that Boris is subpar in some way. Now, it's arguable. It's definitely arguable. I mean, but Boris responded with this. That's funny, Matt. Now, when you have any modicum of achievement, instead of just being a snarky nobody on Twitter, get back to me. Now, for someone who is so sensitive about being called Russian, or so sensitive about not sending the best, this is sort of like it seems to me to be an inappropriate attack, right? Like, you know, that Matt, you're achieved. You've
literary hangovers growing at a just record pace.
You're literary hangover.
You fucking 3 blunts an afternoon, bro.
You are the producer of a 5-time award-winning podcast.
That's true.
And you have a degree, don't you?
A couple of them.
A couple of education degrees, probably more than Boris.
Probably 2 undergrad and a master's.
I learned what I do from School of Life.
I also achieved a ratio here on this. If you look at the ratio there, it's 57 replies to 35 likes for Boris.
That's pretty good.
I got the ratio.
I got the same number of. I got about 7 followers out of it. That's the same as the amount of retweets that this has gotten.
So there you go, Boris Epshteyn. Now, what's really stunning to me is that here Boris is on how many stations across the country? 30 television stations. Guy's on television. Look at how many followers he has.
Also was an advisor to the President of the United States.
He has 33,000 followers.
Yeah, not very impressive.
That's not very much.
That's less than Mindy.
We call
It's
him
less than Mindy.
for a guy we call.
Mindy's a heavy hitter, though. So.
That's not very much for a guy we call Boris Must Run Epshteyn.
Exactly. I mean, here's the thing. He's forced on people in some ways. I mean, this is like, he's instead of
He's a literal corporate plant.
But he's an electrifying presence on television.
well, I mean,
No one reads a prompter better than that guy.
he's like an accoster in a way, right? I mean, honestly, like he is he's force fed onto people. He has been talk about affirmative action.
He comes to this country.
This is like they need to fill a quota of one Boris Epshteyn. That's basically it.
Doesn't say a lot for how good competition is working in the corporate media marketplace
I would
these days.
say very strange. Like they honestly can't find somebody more suited for television than Boris. I wonder what that deal is. Wonder like why they had to take Boris.
President Trump will continue diplomacy unconventional. Liberals will react, but the success will be in the puddings
Now,
that we see.
you're not making fun of him for being Russian. You're making fun of him for having an unintelligible accent and being a television.
Maybe a little flat-footed on television.
Yeah.
Is where my material's coming from. As an example, I work regularly on my show with almost certain Russian spy, Ilona Minkovsky, so I have no beef towards Russians.
Right.
Who's out, and more importantly, what this means for the American people.
Exactly.
So, now that your tweet has been highlighted on this program, I wonder if that constitutes a modicum of achievement in his mind, and maybe you should get back to him.
I know. I'm going to try to get back to him fairly often and see just when is the time I should have gotten in his eyes.
I mean, a modicum of achievement. That's
Shouldn't be that much.
How much would you need for a modicum?
Like, I actually consider this getting retweeted by him to be an achievement.
Yeah, that in and of itself. All right, folks, we got to take a.
define success on different terms, Boris.
I was gonna say,
You should
like,
smoke a J and read a
modicum
book.
of achievement feels like what his it's gonna be on his tombstone at this point.
There were many modicums, I can tell you.
How did this guy get to be special? A special advisor to the president,
My father sold
And-
Donald Trump a medallion
a
for
special
the cab.
assistant to President Trump. And how do you lose that job so quickly?
The cartel I was representing fell apart on further inspection.
It was appearance of impropriety.
Appearance of prieties. But now I'm on Sinclair. Most importantly, what happens for American people? Suburb vote change. But suburb vote go back. President Trump is going to continue to tell it as is.